Quantum jumping. What exactly is it? How do we do it? Is it possible? If so, what are the steps that I need to take to make it happen? This is one that gets brought up to me all the time. So if you are somebody that is interested in learning more about quantum leaping, then definitely stick around through the end of this video, because I'm also going to give you guys a super helpful technique that will help you shift into your desired state much quicker. What is up, you guys? I am Missy Renee, and on this channel we talk about manifesting. We talk about everything that has to do with manifesting, how to do it, how to properly apply it so that you can quantum leap into the life you've always wanted as fast as possible. So if manifestation and conscious creation are topics that you are interested in learning more about, definitely don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon, because I release content every week that helps people like you to transform your life into that reality that you have always dreamed of. So in this video, we're going to talk about everything quantum leaping. I've been meaning to make this video for a while, and I am so excited about it because this is truly a fascinating and life-changing concept. So we're going to discuss today what exactly it is, how to go about doing it, and like I said, I'm going to give you guys a very helpful meditation that will get you into that desired state or moving into that desired reality as quickly as possible. And just a quick announcement before we get started. I have a workshop coming up 1 week from today, next Saturday, all about revision. It is a 2.5-hour course that covers everything that you possibly need to know in order to implement this really amazing technique in your life. If you are interested in joining, I will leave information down in the description box below to sign up, along with a 50% off coupon. So definitely get your hands on this, definitely sign up, because this is one that you do not want to miss. So quantum jumping. I love talking about this topic. It makes me so giddy because it is so much fun when you master this. But before I get ahead of myself, what exactly is it? What does quantum jumping actually mean? So when I talk about quantum leaping, I'm not referring to the law of attraction term that gets thrown around a lot, or the technique with the 2 cups of water and you drink the water to switch realities. Like I'm not referring to any of that. No. Boiling it all down, quantum leaping is moving between different realities, different alternate versions of your current reality. I know this sounds super sci-fi, and I know it can be a little bit hard to grasp if you are new to the concept, so bear with me because everything that I give in these videos is testable. We're going to break it down in a very simple, concrete, step-by-step approach. Now, I know some of you are probably looking at me right now like, what the hell do you mean moving across realities? What the hell? So I've discussed time in multiple videos, the concept of time and how it works, but for anyone who maybe is new to this channel and does not know exactly what is going on in our day-to-day, time is not linear. And that's the first thing to really understand and grasp. There is an illusion of this linear version of a timeline that we perceive as our day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, year-to-year. But what is actually happening in every moment of our day, every moment of our lives, we are picking and choosing and selecting different realities or states of being to experience. And these states are infinite. There are infinite number of different states or realities or alternate versions of your current timeline, or what appears to be timeline. There is already a version of you out there that has exactly everything that you desire to have. There is already a version of you out there that is already the version of you that you desire to be. Everything is already finished. Everything is already complete. It is done. I'm referring to the ability to consciously do the same thing that you're doing in every moment anyways. We are always doing this. We are always picking and choosing and selecting the states to experience. Through quantum jumping, we're just doing it consciously. That's it. So this is just deliberately moving yourself into a new reality, into a state where what you have already exists. The thing to understand is there are not only infinite versions of you, there are infinite versions of everybody else in the world. There are infinite timelines, past, present, future, that already exists right here and right now. That's why it is super important to remember when manifesting that even for something that you perceive as hard to obtain or your big manifestations, it's really important to remember that this is all just your perception. There's nothing that you have to go out and obtain because it already exists. You don't have to go out there and try to forge a new path or exert any sort of willpower or force in order to realize your desire. If creation's already finished, then we just need to move into that new state where that version of us is already there waiting. So we're really not even manifesting in the sense of the definition. We are actually just picking and choosing what we want to experience. Neville talked about states of being and states of consciousness often, and he was referring to the different realities and all the different possibilities that are happening right here and right now. And I know it seems a bit out there, but through science, we're starting to see that a lot of this is true. There is something called the observer effect in quantum physics, and that is essentially when somebody expects something to happen, it will. And this is because we manifest our reality and the states that we dwell in by our beliefs and by our expectations, our assumptions, the things that we deem to be true. Whatever we declare as truth will wind up as truth in our world. You can take, for example, the TwoSlit Experiment. For those of you who don't know about that one, it was, in a nutshell, scientists were shooting particles through two slits right next to each other. And depending on where the scientists thought the particles would go, is where they would go. Every time the scientists thought that the particles were going to be going to the left slit, they went left. Anytime the scientists assumed that they would go to the right slit, they went to the right. And they did the experiment enough times to see that this was not just coincidence. This wasn't just possibility here. This went far above and beyond the realm of possibility, because every time that they assumed the particles would act a certain way, they did act that way. So now that we understand what quantum jumping is, how exactly do we do it? Well, before I give you the technique, let's talk about exactly what goes into a successful quantum leap. As humans, as conscious beings, we can only perceive one perception at a time. Our attention is focused on one perception and one reality at a time. Our conscious mind, our self-identity, cannot see the infinite possibilities. So it is whatever we are perceiving and whatever we are giving our focus and attention to that determines the reality that we experience. If you want to deliberately move into a new state, you have to get past that ego mind, that self-identity, your conscious mind. When you're able to dissolve that identity, when you're able to shut out the senses, and you detach from that assumption that you believe that you are, if you are able to go within and dissolve that identity, that idea of you, your conscious mind, or all the things that you perceive to be true about you, until there is nothing left but awareness, you can then determine the reality that you wish to experience. Our awareness is neutral state. That is the thing that is not tied to any concept that we have of ourself. To better understand all this, it helps to have an understanding about awareness or consciousness. And this awareness is God of Scripture. If you're not familiar with what these concepts mean and you want a deep dive and more information, you can check out the video that I made about awareness, about consciousness, and that is a very key element to conscious manifestation. So I definitely recommend you check out that video. If you haven't, I will link it up here and down in the description box below. Your awareness is the God of Scripture. That is the creator. It is constantly creating and evolving, and the one that is moving you through the states of being and through the different realities you experience. This awareness resides within all of us. I have this awareness, you have this awareness. This is what connects everything together. Because as Neville said, consciousness is the one and only reality. And he didn't mean that figuratively speaking, he meant that literally. So all of those infinite realities and infinite parallel universes and infinite states all exist within awareness. And to give you a better idea of what I'm talking about when I say awareness, think about who it is or what it is that is aware of your thoughts. When you say, I am Missy Renee, who is that I? Who is the I that is aware of being Missy Renee? If you are not your thoughts, then what is it exactly that is observing your thoughts? That is awareness. That is consciousness. This is your true being. This is your true nature. This is under all of the identity and all of the ego. All that's left when you strip away the identity and the ego is awareness. So when you dissolve that identity, when you dissolve the concept of Missy Renee and go back to the neutral state of awareness, this is when you can choose and select the desired reality that you'd like to experience instead. So you essentially want to shut out the senses, you want to go within, and you want to strip away all of the current concepts that you have of yourself. From that blank slate, you can then pick a new reality or a new identity that you would rather experience. And there's one technique in particular that Neville taught that I haven't talked about yet on this channel, but I am excited to do so because this one is a trip. Neville talked about the I am meditation. This is a great way to shut out the senses and shut off that ego so you can get to that state of just being. And that's ultimately what you want to do here. When you're quantum jumping, when you're quantum shifting, you want to be able to disconnect from your current identity, from your current thoughts and beliefs and assumptions and expectations. You want to turn all of that off. And then from that blank slate, from that awareness, you can then select where you would rather go. The I am meditation is a great way to do this. Now, admittedly, it is not, I don't want to say it's advanced, but it is something that may take some practice getting used to. If you are consistent in doing this, you will find quantum jumping becomes almost effortless. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is get yourself into that state akin to sleep. Get yourself into that drowsy, sleepy twilight stage where you are not yet unconscious and asleep, but you're not fully awake and alert either. This is where the majority of conscious manifestation begins, because this is the time where we can focus our attention with the least amount of effort or resistance. Our conscious mind, our ego mind, that identity will try to block anything out that does not line up with the current sets of beliefs that you carry. But in this moment of deep meditation, or in the moments right before bed, your conscious mind has the guard down enough to where you can get your desires and the things that you want to manifest impressed into the subconscious mind. So get yourself into that state again to sleep. Only this time, instead of bringing up an imaginal scene or using the lullaby method, you just focus on being. You shut everything out to the best of your ability. Cut out all the things that you are consciously aware of. The focus here is just being. That's it. I'm going to read a little blurb from Neville himself that explains this process, and I'm going to go back and kind of fill it in with some more definition. Dwell upon just being by saying, I am, I am, I am, to yourself. Continue to declare yourself that you just are. Do not condition this declaration. Just continue to feel yourself to be, and without warning, you will find yourself slipping the anchor that tied you to the shallow of your problems and moving out into the deep. This is usually accompanied with the feeling of expansion. You will feel yourself expand as though you are actually growing. Don't be afraid, for courage is necessary. You are not going to die to anything but your former limitations. But they are going to die as you move away from them, for they live only in your consciousness. In this deep or expanded consciousness, you will find yourself to be a power that you had never dreamt of before. So what he is describing is to basically get into a deep meditative state and just focus on being. You can say, I am, if this helps. For some people, it's a distraction, so use what's best for you. You simply focus on just being. You simply focus on just being aware. At a certain point, you will begin to feel that you are more than just your mind. You are more than just the concept of yourself. You are more than your thoughts. You'll become aware that you are not your mind. You are not your circumstances. You are not your current surroundings. You simply are, and you are just being. You are just aware of being awareness. And once you reach this point of expansion, as it is described, that is when you begin to condition yourself to your desire or attach yourself to your desired state. So when I use the I am meditation, I just go within, I shut everything out, I close the door behind me, I let go of my thoughts, I let go of my surroundings, I let go of my concept of self, and I just exist. And I go deeper and deeper until I get to that expansion that Neville describes. And it really does feel like an expansion, like you're growing. You suddenly become aware that you are so much more than just a body. You are so much more than your current limitations. And this can be a little scary if you've never done it before. So if you find yourself reaching this stage, know that this is normal. It's a normal part of the process. Nothing is going to die except for your current limitations. Once I have begun to feel this expansion, once I have become aware of being, not being Missy Renee, not existing here in the United States, but just aware of being, I begin to affirm my desires. So I begin to confirm the concept of being wealthy. I begin to attach to the feeling of abundance and bring up those feelings in that deep state, in that expansive state. Bring up the desire that you wish to experience instead. When you do this, you will find that coming out of the meditation, you will have effectively moved yourself into a new reality. Once you have let go of your former concept and you've attached yourself to what you desire, you will have no choice but to experience that which you now identify as. So once you come out of this meditation, you and your surroundings have no choice but to conform to the concept and the identity that you attached yourself to in that I am meditation. So you have effectively gone into sleep and come out in a new state, in a new reality. And for a lot of people, if you successfully do this, you'll notice it right away. The most important note that I would give for somebody who has never done this before is to remember to not go into the meditation feeling like you want to get something. You don't want to go into this meditation trying to achieve that state. So the more you try to do something, the harder it's going to be to obtain. You just go into this meditation and focus on being. Focus on awareness. Strip all the accessories and all the bullshit and everything else completely off. Once you reach that expansion and once you reach that deep state where you are no longer the concept of you, you are just awareness. This is your neutral state. This is like a blank slate. And from that blank slate, you can then attach the identities and the concepts and the circumstances that you desire to have. And when you come out of the meditation, you will find that you have moved to the corresponding state or reality that you have attached yourself to in meditation. Now, obviously, there are many ways to do quantum leaping. This is just one method out of many, but it is, for me, yielded the best results the fastest. When done correctly, you'll notice as soon as you get out of meditation that you are a different person. It is that quick. So just remember that you are not your ego. You are not your self-identity. You are so much more powerful than that. Once you are able to successfully detach from that current self-concept, that undesired concept, and attach yourself to the desired version that you want to be, you have no choice but to then move into that state. And by doing that, you are quantum leaping. So I want you guys to give this one a try and let me know in the comments below how it goes. Again, this one may take a few times before you really start to get there, but once you get there, you will notice. You will notice a shift. So I'm curious to see what you guys have to say below, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in checking out any of my other resources, I will link information on one-on-one coaching, my blog, and my social links down in the description box below. And do not forget to check out these videos over here. They all pertain in how to manifest the life that you have always desired. So until next time, you guys, take care, be well. Never forget, you are so much more than your self-concept. Never forget how powerful you really are. Happy manifesting.